This week we're going to talk about CES. Welcome back to another episode of Southern Utah Community Film Studio. I am your host, Mike Crockett, and again, I apologize for not having posted anything in a while. Well, I've been working on some things. I've been working on documentaries, commercials, promotional videos for companies here in the Southern Utah area, and as such, it kind of eats up my time to do this. But you will be happy to know that I have unloaded some stuff from my plate, so I'll have more time to do Southern Utah Community Film Studio episodes. But anyway, this week we're going to talk about International CES 2016. Now, it's March, so why are we talking about CES? CES happened back in January. Well, again, it just comes down to the fact that I haven't had time to make this video. But now I have the time, so now I'm making it. So let's talk about what I experienced at CES. If you didn't get a chance to go to CES this year, but you've been before, this year was a lot like previous years. You had your TVs, your cool cars, video games, and yellow Nikon bags. As a filmmaker, I was there to see specific things, so I spent a lot of time at exhibits for companies like Sony, Panasonic, DJI, and just for gits and shiggles, Canon, even though I'm really not much of a fan of their products. I looked at a lot of cameras from various brands, but the one that caught my eye the most was the Panasonic AG DVX200. I'm not going to bore you with all the specs on this camera because by now, if you have any interest in things like this, you've probably already heard of it. But I will put a link to a page about it in the notes if you want to know more. What I was most impressed with at CES was the Intel exhibit. Not necessarily because of their powerful CPUs, although they are impressive, but because a rising company in the drone market called Unique was showing off their new drone, the Typhoon H, which takes advantage of Intel's RealSense technology.
So show them how easy it is to just get this thing off the ground, right? So fun. Wow. Yeah. So literally with a flip of a switch, this will auto-ascend, has an auto-launch mode. You'll see that landing gear safely stows itself away. It'll do a 360-degree turn to kind of orient itself with its environment, and we're off and running. Now, one thing you'll notice is that this carries a 4K camera housed on a 360-degree gimbal. That, too, is quite unique with respect to drones. It allows the drone and the camera to spin 360 degrees independently of each other. So pretty remarkable. But what really separates or distinguishes this drone from anything we've seen is the Intel RealSense technology. What we're doing is using infrared cameras to essentially gather depth data and give this drone depth perception. Why? Because now it can identify and stay away from obstacles. So I'm going to ask Ryan to do something kind of crazy here. Ryan, if you would, cover your eyes, push that full tilt vision forward, and what you're noticing is this drone cannot crash. So most people's biggest fear when it comes to these is, I don't want to destroy a really expensive toy. Now we can't crash it. It is even avoiding the netting in this cage, which obviously is pretty light and thin. So extremely sensitive, and makes it so much easier. Now, it doesn't end there. There's some really cool features where we can actually tether this drone to the operator or to a target. So what we did is we put some GPS markers on Paul's helmet here. We put it in what we call follow me mode, and this drone will now literally follow him wherever he goes.
may notice Ryan is no longer piloting the drone. It's basically in self-pilot mode, which means that I can get my fitness on, my Greco-Roman style wrestling, or just a general push-up, and I can capture all of that in 4K imagery while the drone is self-piloting itself.
Allow myself to introduce myself.
The drone is self-piloting itself.
That's pretty amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah, no, that really is.
Speaking of amazing, one of the biggest fears is the crash landing. We've all heard that old adage. So, through the flick of a switch, very similar to the auto ascend, the Typhoon 8 comes in for a landing. The transmitter is now completely useless, and we're good to go. So a couple of highlights again: auto ascend, auto descend, object avoidance, and through Follow Me, you can capture beautiful experiences through 4K imagery.
So there you go. There's a little taste of CES from 2016. I was really impressed by the unique drone, the Typhoon H, mainly because it has a lot of features that I want on it for a price that's less than $2,000. One thing that might steal a little bit of their thunder on this is the fact that DJI just announced this past week the Phantom 4, which has a lot of the same features. In fact, basically all of the same features. The only thing it doesn't have is the thing that I like, the retractable landing gear. But at the price point of $1,400, I am willing to take a look at both and consider both of them very seriously, because I am looking to get a drone this year. But that's it for this episode of SECFS, so it's announcement time. We are shooting a short film next month, the month of April, and because we are a community film studio, I am inviting members of the community, of the Southern Utah community, to come and be a part of this, of the making of this film. So if you're interested in being part of this short film in any way, please reach out to me on Facebook, on Twitter. You can leave a message, leave a comment in the notes of this video. Just let me know if you want to be a part of it. And as always, remember to subscribe, and we'll see you again right here on SUCFS.